Hi, everybody. So I really appreciate all the sweet comments that people have left over the last several videos. I do notice that when we talk on camera and share our own personal experiences with our life, that does draw a lot more, a little bit more response, that our audience, very small audience, uh, writes and has things to say. And most of the time, people are very sweet and supportive because these are people who, you know, the very few people who have been following our life for the last 10 years online and seen the ups and downs that involves, and or people who know us, who know us from all the places we've traveled over the years and follow us occasionally online. Very kind and sweet and compassionate, and it's really nice little group of people that are very understanding, and I really appreciate that. It's nice to feel like there are some people that we're able to affect and touch with our lifestyle and our music online, that really appreciate it and can kind of feel like they're on the same wavelength as us. But I'd say that I'm documenting everything, and I'm making videos really for myself. I'm doing it for me, and I definitely don't believe that. I don't see why anybody should be interested. I'm aware that some people are, and some people are moved by it, and that's really nice. So I'm definitely not delusional about it, and I don't believe that we deserve anything. It's just I'm documenting our life for the sake of doing that, because I think it's a really interesting lifestyle, and we are unusual. We have unusual ways of thinking and feeling about things, and what we do in our life as performance is an unusual way of self-expression. In the 15 years I've been living and traveling, I've not really seen anybody do what we do. I've not seen anybody do what we do, and I've not seen anybody like us. So I think it's interesting to share our own perspective on life, because it's unusual. But I do notice whenever I share videos of us talking, like vulnerably speaking about feelings and thoughts about our life and about the world at large, that tends to reach more people than just the vlogs. The vlogs are so personal, and you kind of have to have known us for a while, or even seen us play live, or been a friend of ours to really be interested enough in that. So the talking about various subjects, that tends to reach a little bit more people, and most of the time people are really supportive and sweet, because those people that have been following us for a while, and they're very kind. But then sometimes it's people that don't like us and don't appreciate what we do, and strangely enough, those people will come out of the woodwork all of a sudden and say, and be very challenging, or very rude, or mean in a comment. And these are people who we don't know, that we would never, they would never speak to us in a public space, or talk to us, or say any of these kinds of things to us, to our face. So over the years, I've struggled with that. I've struggled with my ability to hold myself together when people on the internet specifically say rude, mean things. And as I've gotten older, I've learned that I'm being very vulnerable and brave to live the life that I do, and to share my experience online. I don't need to. I don't. And what people think about me is their own opinion, and it doesn't really affect me anymore. And it used to. It used to be difficult for me to deal with people lashing out at me online, and I would take it a lot more personally, and I would get more affected by it, and I would get sad about it. But I learned that that's the only way for us to share our experience and our own unique perspective on life, which is very strange and unusual, is to sometimes we're going to meet, a lot of the time we're going to meet people online, especially, who are going to be be very disturbed or confused or whatever by what we're doing. And I definitely don't owe anyone an explanation. I know this. I don't care to explain myself, and I don't need to. I know from my own perspective that I am living the best life that I can, and I'm doing the best I can with my life. And I'm very proud of the way I live my life, and the way I share my voice and my music and my inspiration. I'm doing the best I can, and but it does give me an interesting perspective on when rude comments come online. It does give me a interesting perspective when we go out in public and when we play and when we are just existing in the world, because the way that I perceive myself and my husband and what we do is from my own hologram, let's say, from my own vantage point, from what I experience in my mind, in my heart, in my being, is that I am projecting out an expression of love. I try to be at all times kind and loving and understanding of people. There are times in which I can be aggressive if people are harassing me in public. I'm not afraid at all to be aggressive back or to tell people to leave me alone. Or I've gained that skill from years and years and years of performing in public, dealing with confrontations with people, dealing with all sorts of conflicts with playing in public and just being the way I am. Generally, that doesn't happen so much anymore. But also I noticed that a fear for me over the years has been, if more people know about us as an entity and know about our music and know about us as a thing of what we are, and the more people that we reach, the more people there'll be that don't like us and that make it clear that they don't like us and all the reasons why they don't like us and why, so it has been something that I've kind of held back from sharing more vulnerably online, because there's fear of being judged naturally. And is that worth it? Is it worth it to reach the people who could be moved and could be touched by what we do, to be attacked by people, strangers online? But to share online and to share our experience and our journey and our music and all of that and our experiences and feelings, and doing that and being brave and doing that is the same as going out in public and dressing the way that we do and expressing ourselves the way that we do and performing in public spaces. But I'd say that the way that I perceive from my hologram when I'm out in public, when I'm performing in public, I am not assuming that people hate me. And I noticed actually today a lot when we were walking after reading these rude messages online, that people do stare, people do double takes often, people do staring, and children do this pointing thing, which happens everywhere in the world, no matter where we are. And especially to Thoth, because he's wearing dresses and jewelry and he looks quite feminine as a male, and it confuses people. But generally, the way that I perceive that is I don't perceive people being hateful. And today, when I was just walking around with Thoth, I was recognizing that those stares and those looks and all of that, those are coming with judgments. And in general, I don't think about that people are judging me. I know what I am projecting, and I know what Thoth is projecting out into the world is we're projecting love out into the world to the best ability we can. And I'm not assuming that people are being vehemently hateful of us or thinking negative things about us. And I guess that's why I can be who I am. Because if I did, and I think that's probably why most people cannot be themselves in any context, and especially be outrageous and wear clothes they want to, be the way they want to, and express themselves in public the way they want to. That's why nobody like sings or plays music in public anymore, because it naturally challenges people, because it's not normal. And I guess that's why most people are very normal in the world, is because they're afraid of that staring and that judgment. So I just wanted to share that from my own vantage point. It's only when I share these vulnerable videos of talking about my experiences or my feelings that people will sometimes lash out at me and challenge me or criticize me or say rude things that they would never say to me in person. That's the only time that I go, oh, that's interesting. Not everybody likes us. And I would say absolutely, to be very clear, is that I do not feel that everyone should like me or should instantaneously understand me, or feel compassionate for me, or that anybody owes me anything. I've definitely grown out of that kind of thought process, that I feel that I am owed success and fame and riches and recognition for being who I am and being the kind of artist and musician that I am. I am aware, as I've gotten older, 15 years of performing in public and being an artist and living that kind of life, that I'm not owed anything, really. And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow in life, that you can do something that you're really, really passionate about and really believe in, and it doesn't really gain you anything. The only thing that I'd say, the primary thing that I've gained from living the life that I've lived, is how I've grown, how I've evolved. And it's just interesting to realize that the reason why I can be who I am and I can handle people staring or people leaving mean comments or whatever, is that I don't generally go around assuming that people are misunderstanding me or not liking me. I am projecting a certain kind of image within my holographic reality, and it protects me, actually, in general. My creativity and my visionary mind protects me from feeling stung and hit by people's judgment. And so it was just really interesting today when I was walking around and seeing how people's looks and people's double takes and staring and pointing that happens sometimes is going with a thought. And those thoughts are not necessarily positive or kind or generous or understanding. And the way that I handle that in the world and in life in general is I have a holographic shield that protects me. And in the past, I would say, maybe 10 years ago when I was 25 and I was performing in public for a living, that shield was an image and a thought that everyone loves me and everyone should love me and I deserve all sorts of praise and recognition for what I do, and that is my reality. That has evolved into, I am projecting goodness and peace and love and kindness and creativity, and whatever people perceive of me is not my business and not my problem. And I don't owe anyone anything, nor does anyone owe me anything, including when we play in public. I absolutely do not think that everyone or anyone should like it, should stop and watch, should give us money. It's that I am doing what I need to do for my own well-being. I am performing in public because that's kind of the only opportunity that I have to sing and to practice playing violin and expressing myself in that kind of way. And I understand that it's challenging, but the goal is not to. I'm not trying to challenge anyone. I'm not trying to upset anybody. I do understand that it could be upsetting to people and it could be annoying to people, but if I went around in my daily life thinking that I was just annoying and people thought I was nuts and hated me, I wouldn't be able to function. And for the most part, I recognize that probably nobody really cares very much, and that's okay too. I'm much more, I've just grown up a lot in the last 15 years, I think. And especially in this last year, I've really grown up. I feel like I've grown up overnight. And I'm able to deal with criticism and judgment and being challenged much better than I ever have been. And it's interesting to me to see how I've evolved. And I think it has kind of, over the years, it's actually kind of held me back from allowing the idea of us becoming more seen and more recognized online or whatever, that fear of being judged and being misunderstood. And over time, I've really recognized that is just part of it. That's just how it's going to be. And I'm doing the best I can with my life and with the situation I'm in. And what other people perceive or think or feel is their own projection, and it really has nothing to do with me. And that also goes with that video I made the other day where I was talking about losing friends, is that people have their own issues and their own problems. And I absolutely do not live by the principle that, it's everybody else's fault and I'm perfect and I'm flawless and everyone should just bow down before me. It's absolutely a understanding that people have their own perceptions and their own issues in life, and relationships come and go, and nobody owes me, just as the same as I don't owe anybody an explanation for the way that I am or the way that I live or what I do or how I feel or think. Nobody owes me any explanation or anything for, if people are not going to be in my life anymore, that's the way it is. If people are going to hate me, that's the way it is. If people are going to lash out at me online and be rude, that's just the way it is. And I think I went from a very different mindset when I was 20, living in New York and meeting Thoth and first going off into the world, just thinking that the world will love us and we are so beautiful and full of peace and love and tranquility and joy, and our music is just a blissful thing from the heavens, that naturally the whole world would just open their arms to us and love us forever. And that really actually hurt me over the years, because I was so damaged in a way by feeling like people owed me something, or people owed me, that the world owed me something for being so, what I perceived as being so magical and so gifted. It's just, facing reality over the years that you can be as beautiful and magical as you want, and people can perceive you the wrong way. They can get the wrong impression of you. They can hate you for some reason that they have come up with, some reason why that isn't even reality. They can blame you for things or hate you for whatever. You can make mistakes and do things wrong and fuck things up, and that nobody is perfect. And I don't assume that anybody should understand me. And I used to feel like I wanted to explain, like I wanted people to understand us, that this channel was really for that I was like, maybe if I explain ourselves, and that people will be understanding and kind and get it, and I just realized no matter what I do, everybody's going to have their own judgments. And even if, that me going out in public, people are going to perceive me however they're going to perceive me. And they're, very much going to perceive Thoth the way they're going to perceive him, and then us as a being together. The other day somebody thought he was my father, and said that to me. So people have any number of thoughts. So I think all of this is just to say, you just need to be yourself, and there will be judgment, and there will be hatred, and there will be vehement nastiness pushed towards you and projected towards you in all sorts of ways. And you just have to, understand that that's the way the world is, and that's, that's other people's perception and reality, and if it's not yours and you're not taking it in and absorbing it and projecting it out as your own reality, then you can be a quite beautiful, lovely, talented, gifted, magical individual without needing anybody to recognize you or notice you or care at all. And you can generally be quite happy. And I'm quite come to generally an accepting space in my mind. Generally, sometimes I can fall into the depths of despair and just feel like, oh yes, I am a piece of shit, and I have failed at life, and I'm not worth anything, and I've not attained any kind of recognition or fame or love or worldwide recognition for what I do, and so I'm just nothing, and I'm wasting my talent and but generally I'm pretty stable, and I'm able to hold on to the my own holographic reality that I'm doing the best I can, I'm living the best life I can, I'm sharing my gift the best way I know how, and I'm living the best life I can, and I'm with a wonderful being who loves me, and I'm so grateful for everything, and doing a good job.